Establishment Directive of 2001. So this was a really rather wonderful example of professional qualifications being recognised, you know, and how important this can be. Charlotte now practices family and civil law in Italy, and she is on the British Embassy list of English-speaking lawyers. So just thought I'd mention that. But Charlotte actually represented Harry Schindler at the European Court of Human Rights on the case which was about you know, the right to vote and the 15-year law, and the people of whom I was one who were not allowed to vote in the referendum. She's passionate about human rights, and she's been involved with British in Italy since its formation because of her concern for people who are losing these rights. And Charlotte's partner, I learned today, is an Italian policeman, and she has 2 half-Italian children. So, you know, she's really a great representative of you know, what we really would like to be recognised as, rather than, as you say, these pensioners on there sipping their gin and tonics or whatever it is we're supposed to do. Okay, so Charlotte, over to you.
So just a few words about citizenship, because I think there's going to be more questions than and I hope that I can give some answers on those. And this is really at the forefront of everybody's minds. I think a great many of us are applying, or have started to apply since June 2016 for Italian citizenship, feeling that this is the only alternative for us. I would never, I am applying myself, and I would never have dreamt of wanting to apply before, although the issue of the right to vote had crossed my mind once I knew I'd lost it. But from the date of the referendum and the shock results of feeling that I came here because I felt free and I could come to live with my partner and settle here and work here, and suddenly what's going to happen? It was a shock to all of us. I know that we're all in the same boat. Yes, I practice law here thanks to EU law, and I'm recognised as a dual qualified lawyer, and I want to know what will happen next. My personal feeling is, you know, all these concerns about a possible no deal in 3 months' time, and I'm following avidly what's going on. I feel the opposite. I feel, well, I'm not going to prove after March that I have a right to be here. I would like you to prove that you have a right to take away those rights from me. So if somebody in a comune, which already they say, you're British, actually you're not in the EU anymore. This has happened to many of us already. And after March, many of the frontliners at the comune are going to be dealing with us and saying the same thing. No, go away, we're not even going to speak to you. Go to the back of the line. So if I'm challenged in April next year, I will say, well, here's my residence certificate, I am an EU citizen. Because I will still consider myself an EU citizen until it's proved that I'm not. And all the legal challenges that have been brought since Brexit happened, the most interesting one that I followed avidly was the one in Holland by Brexpats, Debbie Williams or anyway, one of us.
It might get revived.
Yes, I mean that is. I would hope it could be revived. That case, in case anybody didn't follow it, was brought to the Dutch courts, saying that European citizenship is a status that is inherent in the fact that we became European citizens, and it can't be taken away from us just because our national state left the EU. It's an untested point. And Roman law was quoted widely in that case as Roman citizenship, once the empire expanded, was something that became part of you. And it's something I feel very passionate about. And yes, we lawyers are waiting. I think that Jolyon Moore, who brought the case in Holland, is ready and waiting to launch that again at the ECJ at the right moment, which I think could be at the moment of no deal in March. It could also be, I think, at the moment that the withdrawal agreement is ratified, if it is, because then that is, in English law, a judicially reviewable point. At the ECJ, it's a point. So you're saying that the withdrawal agreement protects our rights, but it doesn't, because it's taking away our freedom of movement.
So I think the thing was that it was a bit premature before. It needed to get to the point where we could demonstrate concrete loss, so, and that it was too early.
Yes.
But the reason for bringing the case in the Netherlands was because they had a sort of fast track mechanism. We felt under time pressure, but yeah, I think the moment wasn't right then, but hopefully. So Julian Morn has had some success recently.
Yes, so. He has. So he was responsible for the Article 50 revocation case at the ECJ, which was only this week. So all this is to say European citizenship is so important to all of us. Many of us have applied for Italian citizenship. Then another bomb dropped in October when Salvini declared, I'm in power now, I'm going to bring forward my laws against migrants that I've been planning to do all my life, so it's the first thing he's done in power. So it has affected us as well in some ways. I think we've been accused by Italians in the UK of British exceptionalism in the way that we've opposed this and objected to how it's going to affect all of us. We're in the same boat as anybody, as all the other migrants who are affected by the Decreto Sicurezza. But in particular...
Actually, we've had support from Italians in the UK.
Because
they've got the same problem.
Yeah, of course.
Many of them are married to British citizens who want Italian citizenship and have been waiting for years.
Yes, of course. I mean, the main point that is definitely going to affect all of us that have already applied is the fact that it will now take up to 4 years to process claims, whereas before it was 2 years or 730 days, and on the last day you had a right to go to court to say, why hasn't this been granted yet? And it would immediately have to be granted. Now, because of the backlog in the courts, among other types of cases, also with citizenship applications, they've extended the time. It doesn't mean that people have applied and are nearing the end of the time, like I think Delia, doesn't mean that you won't get the decision middle of next year, but we don't know. It's still it's a worry because many people apply thinking, I've got 2 years, so that time will be up before March 2019 in the UK. Now there's a big question mark. So other than the 4 years extension, the payment's gone up to €250, and what was also brought in as another bombshell weeks later was the language test, which, as you know now, it's a requirement by the law that at the moment of presentation of the application there is proof that you are of the level of B1, so you can order a kilo of apples in a supermarket. It's not a very high level, but and we did lobby also with the Italian government, even while it was going back and forth between the Senato and the Camera, lobbied to at least get some exemptions in there. I mean, if this is going to affect some of us who've been here for 50 years, some of us married to Italians, what about the exemptions for those people? Such as in the UK, I believe, applying for British citizenship, there are exemptions. What about an Italian lawyer that goes in front of Italian judges and has to argue law in Italian? Can't I be exempt from having to prove that I can buy apples? No. So there's no exemptions at all.
In British law, you don't get an exemption either. I practiced as a lawyer and barrister in England for a very long time. I was born in Australia and had an Australian passport. When I applied for British citizenship, I had to have a language test. The man who gave me the language test was not an English speaker. And I nearly failed because I couldn't understand his question. That is one that happens.
Recently we went to the citizenship office in the Comune di Roma at Lago Petroselli and asked them about this new law, and making jokes about how they think it's going to be enforced, and they said, well, you know that there's the faculty of having an interpreter at the giuramento, so up to now it hasn't been a problem. And again, well, people might have different views on whether it's absolutely necessary to prove your integration. So just one point I want to make, because a lot of people have asked this, it does seem to me to be very clear in the law that the language test is not retroactive. That is, if you've already got an application in before October, that it shouldn't apply. It seems to, well, it states, I think, very clearly that it's only the extension to 4 years' time that is retrospective to people who've already got their applications underway and awaiting a decision. So that's all I wanted to say about it, and of course, questions, if anybody has any.
Yes, I think we'll go straight to the